This polar bear looks young, healthy, with his whole life ahead of him, but looks can be deceiving. Because deep inside his cells, a biological clock is ticking, and climate change might be accelerating it, making the bear age faster than he should be. To find out, we have to get close, dangerously close. We're in the western Hudson Bay. To understand these bears, scientists have to perform a high-stakes maneuver from the air. It's all about precision. One dot, one chance. As the bear drifts into a deep sleep, the real investigation begins. We are about to pull a vial of blood that holds a secret millions of years in the making. Hi, I'm Mona, a marine biologist, and today we're answering a question I get all the time. How can we possibly know that? In this video, the question is, how do we know climate change is causing polar bears to age faster? Okay, we have the blood. Now what? The blood contains DNA, and by studying it, we can actually see how old the bear is. So what are we looking for? Well, think of this book like the polar bear's genome. Every single page codes for a specific trait. Think of each page as a gene. Now, when the bear undergoes environmental stress, its body wants to protect it. So it does something amazing. It will shut down non-essential genes that the bear doesn't really need if it's in a survival mode. So what it does is that it takes this chemical tag called a methyl, can you see that? I don't know. A methyl group. It takes it and it asks itself something like this. Hey yo, Tony, do we need this gene? This gene codes for long, luscious hair. Is that essential for survival? No? Okay, you get a methyl group. Bam. Now this gene has a methyl group. Now what does that do? Well, the methyl group basically is an emergency brake. It tells the body, do not use this gene right now because we have more important business to take care of. Now, in a normal polar bear life, these brakes are applied slowly and steadily over time as the bear experiences a normal amount of stress. And as it gets older, these methyl groups or emergency brakes that we can see on the DNA, they accumulate over time. So as the bear gets older, it will have more and more of these methyl groups. This is why scientists use methyl groups to gauge a bear's biological age by counting how many times the body had to hit the survival switch. Now this is where things get interesting, because what scientists did was that they compared bears born in 1965, back in a time where there were still plenty of sea ice and the effects of climate change weren't as pronounced. They compared bears from that time to modern polar bears today, and what they found was absolutely crazy. The modern bears today are biologically older than their ancestors were at the same age. Said in another way, if you take a polar bear that's walking around in the Arctic right now, it might be 5 years old. Based on the calendar, it's been alive for 5 years. But inside, in its cells, in its body, in its DNA, it might be biologically 10 years old, even though it's only been alive for 5. So we have 2 ages for these polar bears, these modern day polar bears: their chronological age and their epigenetic age, which we have found from looking at these methyl groups on their genomes. And those 2 ages don't add up, and that's a problem. But it's not surprising. I mean, think of the struggles that a polar bear has to go through today compared to 50 years ago. The sea ice comes much later than it used to, and it disappears even earlier than it used to. So the time frame that these polar bears have to hunt seals on the ice is getting smaller and smaller every single decade, which means they have less time to build up their fat reserves, and they need to fast for longer periods of time. And at a certain point, they're not going to be able to fast anymore. This constant stress is causing age acceleration. Their internal clock is drifting away from the calendar and closer to death. But does this matter? Yes, it does matter, because a body that's constantly in distress starts to wear out. These biological older bears are having cubs later in life, which means they're also having less cubs overall, and that's going to have severe implications for the entire population of polar bears and the future of this species. Reading these chemical tags gave us a window into a hidden disaster. It showed us that the Arctic isn't just changing the landscape, it's changing the very pace of life. The clock is ticking, and now you know how to read it. I'm Momo. Thanks for diving into this amazing story with me. If you enjoyed watching this video, then I would really appreciate it if you would hit that like button. It would really help out my channel a lot. And if you want to dive into future stories where we explore how marine biologists such as myself study the ocean and the fascinating creatures in it, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much. See ya.